Hi, and welcome back to the Nasdaq studios live at Silicon Slopes. I am your host, Maddie DeWalt, and I am here with Indy Chakrabarty, who is the Chief Strategy and Marketing Officer at Avata. So lovely to have you here. Can you first tell me a little bit about who you are and what your role is at Avata?
Sure, yeah. As the Chief Strategy and Marketing Officer, I help at Avata kind of oversee what customer needs are and how they're evolving and how we can better address those challenges.
Incredible. And tell me more about Avata as well and who you guys are, how you've developed in the last years.
Sure, Avata is the world's largest supply chain risk management software company. So what that means is we help suppliers who supply for a given client become safer and more sustainable. So clients might have a specific set of requirements for a given supplier or for their tens of thousands of suppliers. So on our network, suppliers are able to demonstrate their compliance and prove that the value of their business is what they say it is.
And this last year has been, with the pandemic, it's certainly been a moment for supply chains, and they've been in the news, and it's been a popular topic. Can you talk to me about how Avata's managed this and what that means for your company?
Sure, I guess I would say for most of the world, supply chain being in the news is not a good thing. At Avata, supply chains being in the news makes a difference in terms of the, demonstrating the merits of our products. Mm-hmm. And today, the supply chains are facing lots of shortages, hopefully to be cleared up by Christmas. But whether that happens or not, what organizations are realizing is the criticality of having an insight into who supplies what and where all those things are coming from. And if there's an impact, being able to go to an alternative supplier that can provide those things. But the problem is, a large organization cannot randomly just say, well, I use this supplier, so I'm going to switch to some other supplier. That other supplier has to be compliant with a whole series of mandates that a client has, from financial health to quality to safety to sustainability. So what our network does is allows you to say, I need a supplier that fits my profile. Is there another such supplier in this network? And so you can go out and say, oh, I see a supplier that could work for me, and you can alternatively source to that supplier.
Incredible. That's amazing to hear. And so what do you see as the future of supply chains in this light?
Sure. I think supply chains are changing a lot right now because of pandemic, not just because of the supply chain shortage we saw, but from a pandemic perspective, we saw the impact to health and productivity impacts that happen as a result of health. Mm-hmm. So how, even what's about to happen today, right? Vaccine passport mandates. How do you know that the third parties coming into your organization are complying with those vaccine passport mandates? So your own employees, it's more straightforward because as they're walking through the door, you're checking, you're getting it into your HR system, but most of the employees coming into your organization are actually from third parties, your partners, your suppliers. How would you know if it's appropriate for them to come in? So our system has, millions of workers, third-party suppliers who have credentials, and as they walk in, they just show their phone, and there's a little, QR code that scans, and behind it, it says they do have the vaccine mandate, they have a drug and alcohol test, they have cleared the background screens. So they have the right training to use the equipment, it could be hazardous equipment, that we're not going to let them go onto the site unless we see that they have that right training. They've taken the induction class that allows them onto my site. So all of that is immediately being scanned in a second and saying, yes, you're allowed to put this employee onto site. And so that's what our system is used for.
That's super important. Incredible. And just to open it up here, we are at Silicon Slopes, and Avata is a Utah native and has been for a lot of years. How have you guys seen this Utah tech world open up, take off, and support each other?
Yeah, it's been incredible, the wave that has happened and continues to happen in Utah. Sometimes that cuts against us because the job market here is very tight. But the reverse of that is that the access to high quality technology talent, right? We're a global provider. We need the best talent, but also we need talent that can speak to all the different languages. So we serve something like 122 countries. So we need people who speak all those different languages. And I think a lot of people don't realize that Utah has quite a diverse base for folks who are multilingual. And so our location here makes sense from a technology perspective, but also makes sense from that sort of internationalization. I think people might think New York City or Los Angeles are international. They're international, but the intersection of technology talent and international linguistics capability here is pretty exceptional.
Wow. Well, it's been absolutely lovely speaking with you, and we're honored to host you here at Silicon Slopes.
Yeah.
And thank you again.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.